Hello and welcome to another episode of Heywood and Stuff. To those of you that have been here before, thank you for joining me again. I appreciate every single one of you, except you, you're a cunt. And to the newbies, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about meditation and mindfulness. Now I can already hear people going, you know what mate, meditation, I'll have more chance of shitting a sparrow out of my ear. But I know some ADHDers have persisted with meditation and it's absolutely transformed their day-to-day life. Now, granted, one tricky bit is doing meditation. A second difficult bit is continuing to do meditation. You may do it for a week or 2 weeks like I did with yoga, loved it, thought this is a new life, a new me, and just as quickly as I fell in love with it, it was gone. Perseverance and of course not beating yourself up about it if you fall out of it, if you don't do it, if you forget about it. It's not your fault. Be kind to yourself. Move forward, try and keep positive. Trying to keep that positivity is so key. It's so key to having a healthy mind. I also do appreciate that not everyone has the resources in their mind to stay positive, and a lot of ADHDers have been through so fucking much that it can seem quite impossible, but I promise you gotta work at it. You just gotta work at it. Just try. You know, keep watching YouTubers and TikTokers and Instagrammers and get as much information from as many of us as there are out there. And yes, I include myself in that because there's loads of good ones. Speaking of which, my dude from ADHD Go, how do you get your lighting to be so bloody beautiful? I'm so jealous. I'm there with my little blue light and it's just so crap. Which leads me onto mindfulness. Now, if you haven't heard of mindfulness, it's something I first heard when I was 27 when I went to go see a therapist, and the therapy wasn't working for me, but she wanted to invite me into a mindfulness group class, and when she told me about it I was like, absolutely fucking not. Sounds horrendous. A bunch of hippies sitting in a circle talking about what they're grateful for. I never would have thought that 5-6+ years later I would be living my life with the goal of trying to be in constant mindful state. You have your thoughts, right? Your internal dialogue. Being mindful simply means being able to look at those thoughts from a back seat, if you like, or a third person perspective as I call it. It's not an out of body experience, it's just allowing yourself to look at your thoughts and go, okay, that's interesting, or just being mindful of where your thoughts are going. The more you practice this, the more you can appreciate how your thought processes and how your thought patterns might change due to certain stimulus, might go up or down depending on, you know, sleep deprivation or certain people that you meet or certain risky behaviors. There's infinite the amount of external sources can change the way that we think. To be aware of them means you've kind of, you're more present with yourself. You're more in tune with your mind. Mindfulness kind of allows you to check in with yourself from time to time. You're in a state of mindfulness and you can see that you're going down a negative path. Maybe a friend of yours is talking to you about someone that you both know and they start bitching about the person, and then you start bitching with him or her, and you kind of get into this funk of 10-20 minutes of just bitching, and then you say goodbye to your friend, and then you're just in a kind of a bitchy mood, and your thoughts are starting to be negative, and you're in that space, you're in that negative space. Not that there's anything bad about that, but it's not really a space that you want to be in for very long, if at all. If you're mindful, it gives you the opportunity to catch it and see it and go, I am feeling this way because of how I'm thinking right now. And it just kind of allows you to shift it. You can appreciate more how the way you think is affecting the way you feel. People with ADHD, our thoughts are all over the fucking place as it is, that it's really difficult to keep up with yourself sometimes. And if you think that, you know, your emotions can be like here and there and everywhere, and you can be having the best day and then one thing happens, and especially if you're an ADHD that really struggles with hypersensitivity and hyper-rejection, and, you know, someone can say something and it just completely fucks your mood, and suddenly you're having a really bad day, and then before you know it, you're going into old self-sabotaging patterns or self-loathing ideology. Being mindful of it can just kind of nip it in the bud sometimes, and it doesn't always work, but when it does, it's a game changer. And I really think anyone with ADHD should practice mindfulness. Really hope that you've gained some value from any of these. I will do more videos in the future talking about ways to help alleviate ADHD. If you know there's a few things that you're doing that's making your ADHD worse, cut it out. If you know that it's causing you to feel more anxious, you're just building up symptoms that you don't need to deal with. You got to weigh it up, man. Is it worth it? You know, we're all here to we just want to feel good, don't we? Please do consider subscribing, because I enjoy doing these, and I would love to do it for much more time, and subscribing helps me achieve that goal. I'm gonna go. Thank you so much. You're beautiful. Bye.